and welcome back to Living Life Being Human. And this is the next episode in the episodes all around driver behaviour. And this week's episode is about the Hurry Up Driver. If you've listened to the podcast in the past, what I'm doing is talking about all our 5 driver behaviours. As a psychotherapist, it's one of the fundamental things that I learned quite early on about us as human beings. Transactional analysis is all about the analysis of transactions between us as human beings, and there's lots of diagrams, and there's lots of things that I quite like because I'm a logical person and I like things to follow. I like notes and handouts and all those things. So this is just one theory in one modality of psychotherapy. There are lots out there, and I'm not saying that this is the best. I'm not saying that this is the only one. But for me, it kind of made sense. So I'm just talking on these podcasts about that with clients, and I run a private members club where I do different topics and do series of videos around those. It's also called Living Life Being Human. I try to do that across the board to make it easier for people, because I don't like making things difficult. Why reinvent the wheel and make things difficult? So I've been talking quite a bit about games and the games that we can play, and that links into our ego states, it links into our life positions, it links into the drama triangle, which is another thing that us as human beings get caught up in. And it also, for me, links into our driver behaviour, that we all behave differently under similar circumstances, and that's unique to us. We all see reality through our own eyes. I can only experience things through my life experience. My thoughts, my feelings, everything are unique to me, but there are some generalizations across the board that were discovered or grouped together in transactional analysis. And that's where our driver behaviour comes from. So I'm probably repeating myself, but this is probably a week gap if you're listening to the podcast and this is the next episode. So I'm gonna just say a little bit more about that we have 5 driver behaviours. We've got please others, be perfect, be strong, try hard, and hurry up. And within those, there's kind of grouped certain behaviours that we display. The thing about driver behaviour is that it becomes more prevalent, it becomes stronger, it becomes more important to us when we're stressed, when we're overwhelmed, overworked, when we are going through a crisis or a trauma in our life, or a shift. If something shifts, if a relationship breaks down, if we lose our job, if we're feeling uncertain or at unease with something that's going on in our life, we can often draw on our driver behaviour, because it does what it says on the tin. It drives us. It's what keeps us afloat when things aren't going that well for us. So this podcast is about the Hurry Up Driver, which we all have access to all the drivers. And for me personally, dependent on what I'm doing and what I'm going through, I kind of draw inspiration or strength or, I don't know, momentum from my driver behaviour, let's say. As I'm sitting here in front of the screen, I'm recording these so that I can upload them on YouTube as well. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube and subscribe. So there's a video that goes along with this, and I'm also recording it for a podcast. But as soon as I push the record button on whether it's a podcast or a video, I start to overthink. I start to maybe gab a little bit. My process is that as I'm talking, I'm thinking about the next thing that I'm going to say, and it's kind of like that. I need to hurry up. I need to keep the momentum going. And you might notice when I'm recording these that I will take an intake of breath, and it's just to kind of slow things down, because I can speed up, and that's part of my Hurry Up Driver. It kind of instructs me to do everything at double speed. It tells me to go fast. It's a way again of avoiding noticing things, noticing physiologically what's going on in my body. If my mind's racing, if I'm doing lots of things, then I haven't really got time to notice anything else that's going on because I'm just going very, very fast. So it's a brilliant technique to avoid focusing on what I maybe should be paying a little bit more attention to in my life, which is what driver behaviour does. It's a survival mechanism. It gets us through certain things so that when we come to the end of it, then we can kind of look back and think, oh yeah, that was going on then. I'm not sure whether you're the same as me, but I'm absolutely brilliant at noticing how stressed I am when the stress is gone. I'm one of those people that think, oh God, yeah, I was getting loads of headaches and, I had a cold and I felt run down and everything. Yeah, that was probably because I was feeling really stressed. But when I'm in it, I don't really pay much attention to it because my Hurry Up Driver, my Be Strong and all these other things are kind of carrying me through that behaviour. So we don't want to get rid of these. The diagram that's used in transactional analysis for this it's a bit depressing, and I have spoke about it before, but it's called The Drowning Man, and it's a little stick man that's in the water and he's holding up 5 balloons, and those balloons are what they keep us afloat. So when we are going through something, the worst thing that we can do is to stop our driver behaviour, because then the weight of whatever it is that we're going through is going to be heavier than the balloons are going to be able to keep us up. So it's not about stopping the behaviour, it's about just noticing ourselves and when we're in it. And, if we're hurrying up, if we're rushing through life, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm avoiding? And it's just about being curious about that part of us. Curiosity for me is an amazing thing that we as human beings have. It's not about being judgmental or critical. It's just about taking time to just do that, sitting on a rock somewhere and contemplating our navel and just wondering why we do what we do when we do it. So if you have a hurry up driver, you do everything really fast. We can fidget, we can move around, we can, do 101 jobs all at one time. I'm really good at doing that. I'll flick the kettle on and put a load of washing on and grab the dog bowl and feed that, and I'm halfway through watching a programme. In fact, my electricity bill is probably way more than what it should be because I constantly boil the kettle but then don't do anything with it. Or even better, I make a cuppa and it goes in the microwave about 5 times because I don't actually stop to drink it. It's one of those things, it could take me an hour to drink a cup of coffee. Just notice the little things that you do. This was really brought into my focus when I went to see a therapist. It was the first session that I'd had with a man, and I particularly chose to go with a man for lots of reasons. It's quite interesting. As I'm talking about this, I'm thinking why I did it. I had a woman therapist for the 4 years that I was doing my training, and she was very nurturing, which wasn't always the best for me, having a Be Strong driver, to be nurtured by somebody. Didn't always work that well. So I decided to go with a man who I thought would be more in tune with my Be Strong driver, which is ridiculous. This is how our mind works sometimes. But anyway, I said to him that he'd made a cuppa, we'd done the first introductions, and that was absolutely fine. And then I said to him, can I just pop to the toilet? And straight away he came back and he says, you don't need to pop anywhere, you can take all the time you need, there's no rush. And it kind of really blew me away. And it's something that happened maybe about 4 years ago now, and that moment has stayed with me for all this time, that somebody noticed, somebody took the time, somebody pointed out to me that I can take time. I don't need to hurry up. I don't need to rush. That I'm worth that space within that room, and that really resonated with me. So that is something that I try to pass on to my clients sometimes, because it meant a lot. So if you see somebody, when you're out shopping and that hustle and bustle, the rushing, they might actually push past you and hit you with a bag because they're trying to do something fast. They need to get a loaf of bread and that's the only focus on their mind and that's what they need to do. Rather than reacting to how it's impacted on you, maybe just think actually they're doing the best that they can at the moment. Their behaviour has gone into overdrive. They're not really focusing on what's going on around them. They're just being one-track minded. People with a hurry up driver try to get an awful lot done in a very short space of time, and that can sometimes lead to issues. You'd think they'd be really efficient, but often not. People with a hurry up driver can often be late for work meetings or social gatherings. They're the last one to turn up because they've tried to fit so much in the time. They might think it's going to take me 20 minutes to drive there, but I need to go to the shop, so I'll just stop off at the shop on the way back and pick up a few things. And I need to walk the dog, so I'll do that. And literally, they squeeze so much in that often they're late for whatever it is that they're doing. And it's a shame because people who are in the hurry up driver don't take the time to just slow down and stop and smell the roses, to appreciate their achievements and to acknowledge all the things that they're doing because they're straight on to the next thing. I'm one of those people that love training. I love knowledge and information, and I will do training, and when I get my certificate it just goes in a drawer and I'm straight on to the next one. In fact, probably before I've even finished the course I've already signed up to something else, which again is something, I laugh to myself. I find that my little personality quirks can be quite endearing. I'm not offended by them. The more I know about myself and how I am in the world, I do show myself compassion sometimes, particularly when I'm under stress and all these little things come out when I'm running around like a whirlwind and I haven't got time to do this and I've got my messy bun and my joggy bottoms on and various things. I kind of just go, oh, we're doing that again today, are we? So people with a hurry up driver overload themselves. They're always rushing. They're always trying to get lots of things done. They're often late. They talk quickly, which is something that I do. And they literally hit the deck running. One of the things my mum used to say to me, when I was younger, I used to talk in my sleep and I used to sleepwalk. And it was as if I'd never shut down. Mum would say, you open up your eyes and that's it. You're straight into it. You're full on and the day has begun and it starts. And when you live in a family of people that don't like getting up before lunchtime, or they need 3 cups of coffee before they come to, as a child that could be quite difficult because, and in my head I envisage myself as that kind of excited puppy that just wanted to get going and let's get things done. And it can be quite annoying for those people around. I do understand that. So you might notice yourself in this behaviour. You might notice a partner in this kind of behaviour. You might dip in and out of it yourself. You might have moments where you get really busy and get lots done. Just be curious. Just explore what's going on. And again, if you're out and about and you see somebody that's doing the hustle and bustle and charging around as if they're late for everything, just be compassionate. Maybe step out the way and let them carry on because they're doing the best that they can. And I do think in the time that we're in at the moment, the more compassion that we can show to other people who are also just doing the best that they can, then that's gonna be better for all of us. So I hope that's tweaked your interest or piqued your interest a little bit. You can get in touch with me anytime you want to. If there's any topics that you want me to talk about, as you're probably getting to know me more if you listen to these podcasts, I can talk about most things for quite a long period of time. But I would like them to be of use to you. As it says earlier on in this podcast, you can leave me a review, you can get in touch, you can contact me via Facebook or any other means. And if you just type in Living Life Being Human, then at some point I will pop up on Google. And you can contact me via that. So I shall be back with the next episode on another one of our driver behaviours very soon. Take care and have a good week. Bye.